Hello and welcome back to Shulchan HaRav. We continue in the Hilchos Betzias HaPas, Siman Kuf Samach Ches, and we pick it up with Sif Gimel. Im yesh l'adam beis chatzoi lechem. If a person has two half loaves of bread, ve'ein lo lechem shalom lelechem mishnah b'Shabbos, and he does not have lechem shalom, he doesn't have a complete loaf for his lechem mishnah on Shabbos, yichabrim yachad be'etz yesh toyes kli olav. You can combine them in some sort of a wooden container that's considered a halachic container, or with any other thing that's not muksa, to bind the halves together, and you can't see that they're joined. And it's considered shalom in lechem mishnah for the halacha of lechem mishnah, just like it would be a halachic complete loaf for an erev chatzeres, for an erev that mixes courtyards together. Which we'll explain later. About if he has a full loaf, then you cannot use this solution of binding the two halves together, because you could say that it's not really considered a whole loaf when you bind the two halves, except regarding an erev for mixing yards together, which doesn't really need a shalom. The only reason we require shalom there is because of enmity. So a person who's in the erev would not come along and say, I gave a whole loaf, but you only gave a half a loaf. So we therefore combine the half loaves for erev chatzeres, but maybe not for lechem mishnah if you have an actual whole loaf. If you can't see the fact that these two halves are joined together, and from the outside anyone else would think that it's actually a whole loaf, then you don't have to worry even if you have a whole loaf. But it's not really considered that's for an eruv. You don't have to worry about it if it doesn't look joined. If people looking at it, people are part of the eruv would not see that it's joined, it would be considered a shalem in their eyes. Then you don't have to worry about the fact that someone gave a half and someone gave a whole. However, for lechem mishnah, this is not considered a whole loaf through this kind of connection. Just like this would not be considered one thing for a full loaf regarding tuma and tahara through this connection, because it's not really connected. But during the week, you obviously don't have to connect it at all, because there's no din in lechem mishnah. Have a great day.